If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. It's Galatians 6:3. It's the epitome of hypocrisy, and sometimes it's much worse than hypocrisy, but sometimes people actually convince themselves that they are telling the truth. They repeat a lie so many times that they convince themselves it's true. They sear their own conscience, but they are the ultimate hypocrites. One perfect example like that I've just seen recently is Kamala Harris. She would go on a rampage about voting rights being racist when it's demanded that people have to have an ID to vote. That's never been in question. That's just a simple policy. You have to have an ID to do almost anything, and yet they were saying it was racist, particularly she was, saying you should not have to have an ID to be able to vote. Meanwhile, at her own campaign rallies, which are few and far between, she is telling people they have to sign up and be a registered RSVP, and then upon attendance, they have to show a valid ID that matches up with their RSVP. Otherwise, they're not getting in. So it seems to have a bit of a highly esteemed thought of herself that just expresses itself completely hypocritically, blind or absent-minded to previous stances about when you should have to have an ID. Is it more important to go listen to someone talk at a campaign rally or to actually go put a vote in for who is going to be in control in the most powerful position in the world? And then a lot of other positions as well. That's if you believe the entire construct of democracy and our voting system is not completely and fatally flawed. But if you do believe that it's a fair and just process, there should be mandates to have an ID there if there's going to be a mandate to have an ID to go to a rally. But that's just the tip of the iceberg with the hypocrisy of those that are in the world and those that are in positions of power in the world. And the hypocrites protect the other hypocrites to the point where things don't make sense until you realize that there's a lot of hidden hands being held behind the scenes, protecting one another from their own lies being exposed. And even when they are exposed, they're covered up and forgotten about because the next day's news is something to whitewash yesterday's lies that were sold as truth and then exposed, and the list goes on and on. So anyway, that's it. There's a lot of hypocrites. There's a lot of lies. You got to sift through it. Do that in God's word, seeking him. I pray you do that today. God bless. See you tomorrow.